Switch. What is going on, and welcome back to episode 17 of the Director of Football Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays, on Football Manager 2021. We are going to do the end of season review with Wigan, and we're going to have a look at the transfers that we are going to go through, well, what our Director of Football is going to do at the end of the transfer window. So let's find out what's going to happen. So for the first part, we're just going to have a look at the end of season review, see how fantastic of a season we had, because boy howdy, was it amazing. For some reason, I don't know why, but the board aren't happy with Stansfield, who was the top goal scorer in the league. Loan fee doesn't represent great value for money. We paid 13,500 for him. 35 goals, 8 assists. Beckles gets a B-. What? Wheeler, a C+. Spence got a B-. So Jordan Spence had a better board rating than Stansfield. Disappointed, however. The player's wages is on the high side. How much is he getting paid? 750 quid? It's not that much. So that's all the transfers in. Transfers out. Is there anyone that they're... Callum Lang we made a lot of money off, so can't really complain about that. Joe Garner's gone to Portsmouth. Did not know that. So they're not happy with any of the transfers. And loans out. Delighted to send him out on, and we got money for it. He didn't have a great... Levi Welch didn't have a great time when he left the club, but we were expected to finish mid-table in the league. We won it with a 52% average home attendance. Would have been nice if we'd been, getting a little bit more than just over half, but what can you do, I suppose? Definitely don't have to ask the board to increase the stadium size. Competition top goal scorer, Stansfield, with 30 goals. One can only hope that we'll get more. We'll get to see him again next year in our team, but I'm not so sure. The board are delighted that we won the league, FA Cup, 4th round, 52%. Massey and Stansfield again, Carabao Cup, didn't get too far in it, and the Papa John's Trophy knocked out by Bolton of all clubs. Bolton. The biggest win was a 5-0 win over Sunderland. Match to remember was a 5-0 away win against Peterborough. I think that definitely would be considered the match to remember, because we had very poor away form this year. And goal of the season was one of Stansfield's goals against Blackpool. I think that Rob Senior's goal against Tranmere was goal of the season. Our reputation has increased by half a star since last season. The club reputation has not changed over the past season, but it has. So our revenue, sponsorship, has increased fairly substantially, 115,000. Broadcast revenue's gone up. Corporate and hospitality has gone up. Competition prize money's rocketed up, and match day commercial and retail has gone up as well. 278,000 in merchandise sales, just short of 4,850 shirts. Evans getting the most shirt sales. Solomon, Wheeler, Massey and Keane, who I don't think is signing a new contract for next season. So I'm surprised Stansfield didn't get more shirt sales, because he was an absolute legend of a player this season. The overall best 11, Dillo as the goalkeeper. To be fair, I'm pretty sure he's the only goalkeeper we used this season, bar 3 or 4 games that Owen Evans played. Dackers, Cogley, Obi, Beckles and Pierce as our backline. Yeah, Evans and Mckeon, they were consistently the number 1 central midfield partnership. Massey and Crankshaw. Ollie Crankshaw came off the bench 7 times? No, he played more than that. Oh, I made a mistake. I've done a boo-boo. Yeah, he played 17 games. It's because they're taking into consideration what he did at Sunderland. So, I forgot that if you click on anything that takes you off the screen, you don't get to see it. Stansfield and Senior as our strikers. That has to be the case. Assist wise, Lee Evans and Dackers Cogley both got 14. So we won Manager of the month for November and December. I would imagine we won Manager of the Year. Club awards, Stansfield's Fan Player of the Season and Young Player of the Season and Goal of the Season and Top Goal Scorer. Most assists, I think this is just in the league. Evans with 12, Stansfield 7 Player of the Matches, and the highest average rating of 7.2. Didn't win any competition awards because we didn't win any competitions, bar the league. Overall, Stansfield 35 goals was the most of the season. Scored a hat-trick, which was also the most goals by a player in a league match. Dillo at 16 clean sheets. I think he's being chased by Palace at the minute. Stansfield had the most Man of the Match awards with 8. Lee Evans 21 yellow cards, and fastest goal was Rob Senior, 17 seconds. Your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at the end of our season or end of season awards ceremony. Winning the league, what more could you ask for? The joy to watch, and they deserve to go up. Obviously, we deserve to go up. So the overall best 11 has Dillo in goal, Dakars, Cogley, Obi, Clemens and Pierce as our backline, Solomon, Ottobor, Evans, Merry and Crankshaw as our midfield, Stansfield and Senior as the strike force. Owen Evans, to be fair, I can't say that him moving to Lincoln wasn't a good thing. He just played a lot of games since he left us. He only managed 4 league games for us the season just gone before he left us. Beckles, Mckeon, Massey, Keane, Diaco and Joe Garner make it onto the bench. Analyst report, our expected goals were 89.8. We scored 96. Our expected points were 83.4. We got 89. But based on that, our expected position was first. Fantastic. So we've already had a chat with the players. We're going to fight bravely against relegation. Still want us to play entertaining football. And what they want us to do from now on is just continue to remain in the championship. Team leader wise, Massey and Evans are still our top 2. The dressing room atmosphere is average. Managerial support is excellent, which is delightful because if you remember back to the start of the first season, players didn't like me. We probably won't have Stansfield next season, which is disappointing. Who spent the longest time out? Solomon Ottobor with his 6 months injury, which was a broken leg. Most injured player was Cian Monks. I'm not sure if he's going to be a footballer in the future. Trying to give him a chance, but he's struggling. We're back from our holidays on the 13th of June. And where are we going to go in the world? We're going to go to Scotland. Are we going to go to Scotland, or are we just going to go to the northwest? Yeah, we'll go to Scotland. Go and train in the Highlands. And we've got more coaches, delightful, a new physio, and we have 1 more performance analyst. Fantastic. We have a lot of staff and player contracts running out. So be interesting to see what the director of football does with the 2.5 million we have and the 75k wage budget, seeing as though we're down to 37,500 once everyone has left. And we're expected to not lose a huge amount in the next season and then massive profits the season after. So we'll have a quick look and see if I was making transfers, what would I be looking for? Could potentially do it a starting left back. I don't think Smith is quite ready to step up. I know Pierce is confirmed for a little while longer, so he's probably not going to be leaving. Definitely could do it centre back options. Definitely could do it a right back. Central midfield, could do with somebody in there. I think our wingers are fine. Potentially. Strike force, definitely need to bring in reinforcements, because if Jay Stansfield doesn't stay, we're screwed. And he has picked up Wigan as a favourite club, and he loves me, and he loves Rob Senior, who, might I add, still only 17. He's not one to anybody at the minute, which is fantastic. He almost went to Palace, but the director of football offered him a contract and he signed it. So we are going to jump ahead. There's no transfer business that we've done at the minute. So no pre-contracts. We're still only at the start of May. Yeah, start of May. So there is a chance that we could end up getting a whole bunch of players in. We just have to wait and see what happens. Christian Dillo is wanted by Palace. So I told him we were going to give him a contract to wait and see if the director of football is going to offer him a contract. And Tom Pearce wasn't happy with the team talk. I've been much nicer with my team talks. So hopefully too much isn't done in the transfers to ruin team cohesion. I'm hoping we just kind of continue as we are. We have to wait and see what happens though. And I think we might just take the same formation into the championship. Why not? Because, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Like, we're not going to have to play against Sheffield United or West Ham and potentially Norwich, Blackburn, West Brom or Middlesbrough. Hull had a fantastic season, getting 7th. Derby, Ipswich and Coventry got relegated. Okay, so far Brentford are relegated from the Premier League. So we'll have to play Brentford next season. But it's still up in the air on which other 2 teams will be joining us. Chris Wood is the top goal scorer. Chris Wood is just, he's lethal as a striker. It's insane. Right, we will be back in just a second to see what happens in the transfer window. And how we're going to start our season. What's after changing. I'm interested to see what happens, because normally after promotion, the director of football does sign a whole bunch of new players, and a lot of the time they're not great. And they sell a lot of the top players, like starters at the team. Unfortunately, our director of football has a thing about signing players who are terrible to begin with. So we're probably going to end up signing a whole bunch of terrible players, like we've been doing all the time. So back in a second for the transfer roundup before the start of the season. So don't go anywhere. Should be rather interesting. Right, fellas, so the first game of the season is upon us. We're not going to play it in today's episode. That'll be saved for tomorrow. But we are going to have a look at the transfers that we've made thus far. So the board or the media expects us to finish 23rd league-wise. Season preview, we are expected to finish 22nd. Signings that we've made have done quite a lot, clearly. There's going to be quite the fight at the top, with Watford expected to win the league. Brighton, who've got quite a number of the players in the media Dream 11, sitting with potentially getting 4th. Find that interesting. And the team we play first game of the season, Wickham, expected to finish rock bottom. That's right, Wickham got promoted with us. I don't think I mentioned that in the last one. But we'll have a look who got relegated. It was Derby, Ipswich and Coventry. Middlesbrough, West Ham and Sheffield United all getting promoted. So what have we done in the in-between bit since the last one? Charlie Cresswell is potentially coming in on loan from Leeds. He's played twice and scored once for Leeds last season. So he's got a goal in him. Players that have left, I suppose, is probably where it's the best place to start. A lot of loans. Kyle Joseph has gone out, as you were already aware. Mackenzie O'Neill's gone back out on loan again. The director of football decided Stockport was where he was going. Other important players, Luke Harris has gone to Yeovil on loan. Levi Welch has gone back to Eastleigh. Hopefully he's actually going to score a goal this time. And annoyingly, Charlie Jolly has gone off to Port Vale on loan. I know he didn't score many goals last season. Scored 2 in 18 games, but we didn't have many strikers, so I was kind of hoping that they'd keep him around. Thankfully, though, the director of football did make a couple of signings. So actually, do we need to go back to last season? We do. So Idris El Mizuwani is a Tunisian international on loan from Ipswich, who I think have dropped into League One. They have. We're loaning a League One player in the Championship. Played 22 games or 15 games last season. Didn't do very well. He's coming in as quite a decent player for us. So he's come in. He's acceptable. He's going to be a left wing option, potentially a right wing option, and central midfield option. But the most important signing that we made, this guy, Connor Wickham. We changed director of footballs during the summer. Was it Luca Barney was our old director of football? He brought in Connor Wickham on an emergency backup contract on 4.6k. He was literally without a club all season. Decided to wait until the end of the season to bring in Connor Wickham, who's just going to be an option up front, maybe. He's got a 1 year deal, but if he plays 5 games, if he plays 5 games, he gets an extension. So we use him sparingly. Connor Crow's also got on loan, but that's not important. Players that have come in then, Matt Butcher, centre midfield option to play as the Mazzella or the playmaker that we want if we decide to go to a DM. He's pretty high up there in terms of defensive midfielders. He's like our third. It's giving away another one of our signings, but you can already see who they are, so that's fine. Luke Hendry is a right back option who's already picked up an injury against Werder Bremen in a friendly. Comes in as our best right back, narrowly ahead of Dakar Cogley. When he joined, he was 4.5 star potential. I really didn't think that because he was like a 3-star player. He's 27. He's not going to get that much better. Leo Roberts. I think this was one of the last things the old director of football did before he got replaced. Because I didn't offer him a contract. Nobody offered him a contract, and we got a new guy in. He's a left back / centre back who has never played a game of football in his life. Couldn't get into the Chorley team. He's just going to sit in under 23s. Just hope that he comes good, or if he doesn't, we leave him. He'll leave, basically. Hayden Roberts has come in on loan from Brighton as a left back / centre back option, and he's without a doubt our best centre back, and also quite possibly our best left back. So we're going to be using him quite a bit. He's only ever played for Rochdale in League One, which I'm kind of surprised because he does have fairly high potential. I remember was it FM19? One of the clubs I was managing, I think it was it him and Hempstead we had him on loan, and he was an absolute monster. So he's not a terrible player to have. Ryan Cassidy brought in as a striker option, which we definitely needed. He's a very one-dimensional striker. He's quite good at dribbling. He's very determined. So we're going to probably use him as the advanced forward and hope for the best. And then Corey Mckeon. I think he was the first signing of the new... No. Ryan Cassidy was the first signing of the new director of football, I think. Or maybe Hayden Roberts. When the new director of football came in anyway, brought in Corey Mckeon. Just kind of kept the old form going. Did quite well in the Vanderbilt National North last season. Is nowhere near good enough to play in the Championship. Previously of Gateshead, but I had pretty decent time with Blythe Spartans. If we're playing him, I think we're in trouble. But yeah, like I said, the players that left, majority of them are on loan, and they're all pretty much, less a few players, never going to make it into the first team. Players that we released, Mckeon is gone, and it caused quite a stir in the dressing room. A lot of the players were not happy with it. Other than that, I think the second biggest player to leave was Joshua Reggie, who literally played no games for us last season. Came in, scored 3 goals, filled the gap, and then just was gone. And Jack Sanders, who player I really wanted to do well, but didn't get a new contract. So then again, he never played for us. I think I gave him one opportunity. Came off the bench. That was about all he did, really. This is the new director of football. So the lads have done quite well for themselves. The one of the chairmen did quite well. Brought in a decent director of football, which was nice. We've also had staff changes. Well, I suppose staff increases, where in League One we were very high up, and now we're average-ish across the board. Scouts are meh, and our physio staff are terrible. Like, We're 8th in the... Okay, that line makes it look like we're way lower than 8th. We did get a new... Go away. The technical director... We got a new technical director as well, and he is so much better than the last guy. He has 18 judging staff ability and 15 negotiating. He is in charge of our contracts for our staff from now on, which is very nice. So this is how we're going to be potentially lining up for the first game of the season. We did get Stansfield back in. Luca Barney's one of the last things he did before he jumped ship was brought in Stansfield again, who is currently operating at the championship level. So he could still, in theory, score plenty of goals. Potentially be a Premier League striker. We'll see what happens. We do have a couple of unhappy players as well, actually, but we'll go through those in a second. Dillo will be starting in goal because we didn't get a new goalkeeper. So Dillo just continues as our number one. Dakars Cogley starts because of the fact that Hendry is injured. Pierce is going to continue on left, but he is possibly looking for a move. Beckles and Roberts are going to start as our centre-back partnership because of Obi's unhappiness. Evans and Butcher are going to be starting in central midfield because Mckeon slips down the pecking order ever so slightly with the new additions. Solomon, Otterborn and Wheeler are going to be starting as a wide men. Cassidy and Stansfield up front. Stansfield's going to start as a pressing forward, but we do have a number of players that are struggling for match sharpness, or not match, just injuries in general. So Hendry and Rob Senior are both injured. Massey and Merry are both not fit, and Garshala potential to go on loan to Boreham Wood. If they make an offer for him, that wouldn't be a terrible move. Same with Marshall. I don't think Marshall's going to be leaving. I hope Marshall doesn't leave, because he's definitely a player I'm considering as a first team player this year. And Connor Wickham's going to be sitting on the bench because we don't really have anything else. So the unhappy players, I think Tom Pierce has sorted out his unhappiness with the fact we did one angry team talk. But Obi wants a new contract, but he keeps rejecting the contracts that are offered to him. So he wants a deal that reflects his abilities, but he's rejecting contracts that are getting offered. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. I think at some point he might end up just getting sold. But the hierarchy, we have 29 players in the first team squad. That is definitely something we need to change. We need to shift some of the players on. I have thrown some players out of the first team that haven't left, such as Perry. Thrown him down to the under-23s in the hopes that the director of football notices that and goes, we'll sell him. But not by the looks of it. We do have a lot of players out on loan at the moment, which, I have no control over, which is delightful. They're still telling me about players like Steve Cook and Rojo. Mesut Ozil, the director of football, Luca Barney, made an offer of nothing for Mesut Ozil. Why? I don't understand why he's offering. Why he seemed so intent on getting Mesut Ozil. We didn't get him. He went to, was it Lens in France? But the board as well actually did offer me a new contract, and I turned down talks because I do want the potential to move at the end of the season, or at some point during the season, because I feel like we're in for a long one, and it's not the best of times to be looking for a new club at the minute. Like Standard Liège, probably the only team that I'd consider, and they're way out of our league. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. I am still favoured personnel, so that makes me happy. We have changed captains. Well, Luke Hendry is our captain now, and Matt Dolan is our vice captain. So we have to see what goes on there. We did take Boreham Wood as an affiliate because we needed an affiliate, and I don't think anything else. We improved our youth recruitment to... So what are we up to now? Youth recruitment is average. It's a little disappointing. We did get a couple of new sponsorship deals and whatnot, so it's been a busy little time. We still have plenty of money in the bank. Transfer budget's barely been touched, and our wage budget went up when we were moved into the championship. Went up to $250,000. So, and then it just kind of went back up to 262. I'm not sure what's going on, but our scouting budget went up as well. And now we can scout the world, which is delightful. Not that we can't scout the world, we can't do South America, but we can do most of, like, pretty much all of Europe, which is fantastic. My director of football is actually going to be able to do something with, you know, scouting. Hopefully he does something with scouting. Hopefully he brings in some more players, but better players. I really don't want, like, Corey Mckeon and Leo Roberts. If you're bringing in a player from non-league, I wouldn't mind a player that's got potential to jump into the first team. As it is, we don't really have that. So, like I said, the next episode is going to be against Wickham and potentially Harrogate. Maybe not. We might just do Millwall, play against dirty Millwall. Where are Millwall expected to? I actually didn't check to see for, like, some of the random teams. Like Millwall, why was I looking at the top? 18th. Should be an interesting game. Playing 24th and 18th. Expected to fit where they're expected to finish in the league. Anyway. So, that'll be tomorrow's episode. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends. And I will see you in the next one.